What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Road to Ironman with JG3 Fitness Podcast. I'm Jay. We got John, Lex, and we're going to spend a minute introducing you to our newest member, Carrie Mayle. Carrie, are you going to do it as good this take as you did the last time? Say hi.
Hi.
This is episode number 3. We're now on Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're still working on Apple Podcasts, but we will be hopefully on there by the time this releases.
We are marked explicit.
We are marked explicit because John swears too much.
It's me.
Thanks, Grandpa.
It's always me.
It is. Anyway.
They all took a drink
There
at the
it
same
is.
time.
All right, Carrie Mayle. We're going to catch her up. So why Ironman 70.3? Yes, we are doing this all over again. We don't have our tech guy, so I fucked up the first minute. I didn't really fuck it up, but I had to test it to make sure I didn't fuck it up. But anyway, Carrie, why Ironman 70.3?
I am doing it, because everybody else is doing it.
If you're watching the video version, she's picking calluses off of her hand right now. It's pretty fucking
And I'm really
disgusting.
cold, because we just did a
And
10K.
she's wrapped in a blanket. Anyway.
At least I have feeling back in my fingers. Well, everybody else is doing it, and this is the best support system that I've ever had. So if I ever want to try anything like this in my life, now is the time to do it. I'm doing it for Joe P. He is now leading me down the path of life this year and going forward. And he has created this new motto for me, and it is why not. So anytime I'm signing up for something, it's why not. So you're not going to know you can do it unless you try. And he says, how bad do you want it? So we're just going to do that in life now.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So the second episode, or the first episode, was all about your biggest fears. What fears do you have going into this Ironman 70.3?
I have 3.
3 fears?
I do.
Okay.
It's less than I had, so.
But after the episode, you had like 30.
Yeah, after the episode, there were probably like 12.
I really do have 3 big fears. So one fear is that I'm going to drown. So I signed up for an Ironman, not really doing any part of it. So I'm starting to run now. I have never swam. I just did my 3rd swim, and I have never been on a bike besides out with my kid.
I've been on a bike outside.
Remember who was calling me an idiot the other day when I said couch to Ironman?
It's TiVo.
TiVo said that. We are kind of in that scenario with Carrie right now.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I swam. I didn't drown. I just ran. I survived. And I've still yet to be on a bike. I bought a bike, so that's step 1.
Which, by the way, shout out to Spoke Life Cycles here in the greater Toledo area, Fremont, and a couple other places. They've set a lot of us up with bikes, and I don't think John might have had the most knowledge on a bike. I walked in and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I want a bike to do an Ironman, and Catherine Miller hooked us up pretty good. I think 5 of us bought bikes. There's John, me, Carrie, Jason, 4 of us bought bikes. So shout out, thank you, Spoke Life,
I'm cheap.
for helping us out.
They had a special order one.
They did. Carrie's such a midget.
Kid size.
You have a kid-sized bike?
No, it's an adult, but
It's what?
I
Is
think
it?
it's
smallest
like
adult
kid
size.
size.
It's like a 44 when me and John both ride 58s. Like
Yes.
it's a small, tiny
Aw.
bike.
It's teeny.
She's vertically challenged.
Oh, so cute.
She's vertically
See, this is
challenged.
okay, now that makes me think. I'm like, okay, now I have this hybrid bike. You guys are going to all be so fast. I'm just going to be so slow.
I honestly didn't
Have you
notice.
seen the size of my legs?
The first ride I did with Jason last week, I actually got outside, and I mean, part of it probably would have been trying to figure out the clip-ins, but we were not going at that fast of a pace. I didn't notice a big difference in that. I'm sure once we get into the longer rides, my big thing was gears. There's a lot more
We
gears on this
talked about
bike
that today.
than
There's
I
a
used
lot
to.
to learn.
There is. And then I did learn the hard way that you can clip out really fucking quick when a car's coming at you.
Yes.
It is a natural motion. to unclick from the clip-in shoes. So those are Carrie's 3 fears.
Nope, that's her one fear.
Oh, that's her one fear. Oh shit. Well,
We got off topic.
let's dig. Well, she said swim, bike, run, and I was like, that's 3. So I mean, that is the Ironman. So she's afraid of everything. My biggest fear is doing an Ironman.
Yes.
So what's number 2 then?
Well, it started out with I'm afraid of drowning.
Yes.
So I think if I can get past drowning, I'll be fine.
Well, I hope when we go outside and we actually get into a pond, and that's going to be kind of my role when we finally sync up our schedules and start swimming outside together. Because right now we're all kind of doing our own swimming. Mm-hmm. I will actually do kind of what I did to TiVo when we were swimming in the pool the one day. I'll start swimming right on top of you, just so you get kind of the feeling of
Sounds awful.
how close people are going to be to you. And I don't mean like I'm actually going to hit you, but I'll swim like to where my arms are so close to your legs, you'll get that feeling of, oh my gosh, someone's right there.
I'm just going to let you know, I will be dropping bows and I will kick you in the face.
I'm just going to let you know this is an old swimmer trick. I'll grab your feet and swim to the bottom, and let's see who can stay down there longer.
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah, so
that's my biggest fear. Please don't do that.
Don't throw.
Oh my god, don't. Somebody's trying to kill me. Somebody's trying to murder me in this thing. They can pull me by the leg and I'll be dead. And no one will know.
Nobody's going to do that. That's a
They
joke
might.
So you don't throw a fucking elbow at me. But
Watch
the
me.
point being, the more we can swim in a
Chance.
group and get used to, because what happens is actually you go to take a breath, and this is a very valuable lesson. You turn and someone kicks and splashes right in your mouth. You don't get a breath. So you got to learn how to kind of maneuver yourself so that you're not always taking water in. But anyway, we'll work on that. What is fear number 2?
These are no particular order. Time management.
Ooh.
So I barely feel like I pretty much live my life right now minute by minute with how my life is. So adding more into the schedule is terrifying me. I actually told my district manager this, trying to find the time because he's like super supportive of this goal. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm a single mom, have a house, have pets, run a business, and train. So, and then my kids in sports and school. So it's trying to figure out how to balance adding all that in, which we also talked about today. I have an idea and a game plan. Hopefully it works.
I think, although I'm not a single mom, I obviously have I'm a man.
I was gonna say you're a single mom. You're not a single mom.
John's
you're
like,
just a
oh,
mom.
here we go.
You're not a mom.
So yeah, you really have nothing here.
But
I got a job.
my schedule's real screwed up because my wife and I run JG3 Fitness, and I have a full-time job. So a lot of my training is super early in the morning at lunchtime. I'm very sympathetic to trying to fit that in, and I think what's worked for me personally is I started syncing my Google Calendar with Debbie. So I know we have one for gym coaches and whatnot, but I actually created a Google Calendar just for me and Debbie to actually kind of take a look at and go, all right, here's my schedule, and this is how long I anticipate it taking, so I can actually figure out, like, how am I going to train this hour. So there are times where it's unrealistic, where I sit there and I say, me and Carrie were talking about it. Monday I have swim somewhere between 1,200 and 2,500 yards. For me, I can do that in 40 minutes if I just get off my ass and hit it. But there are times I'm going to have to go, all right, I'm going to have to go straight through instead of doing sets or pace work or things like that I might have you guys do. I might just hit my clock, jump in and go, I have 40 minutes to go as far as I can, shower, grab food, get back to my office, or even eat in my office because that's the only time I have. But try using a calendar to sync your shit up because that's the only way.
I have nobody to sync with.
But yourself. It's when it pops up and says, Carrie, you have this half-hour window to go get a 5K run in, or whatever. Now, mind you, there are a lot of times where I'm in my office, I look like a fucking hot mess. I finish running, I dry off with a fucking towel, put deodorant on, and go right back to work.
Ew, you don't shower?
Not after a 5K. Not if I'm running at lunch. After swimming, I will. But, I mean, it's probably going to change when it gets fucking warmer out. So I'm going to have to. But right now, it's hope I don't sweat that bad. And move on from there.
Yeah,
But I also work in an office where I'm usually the only person or maybe one other person in my office, so it's not like Carrie who's in front of a customer or things like that all the time. So, but
You
time,
don't want to be standing in front of a customer.
time. Well, she smells like shit right now. I can smell it.
No,
from
I
here.
don't. How? We like ran through a bath. Like
I think I saw it.
we just did a 10K
I think I looked
in
like
the
I just
pouring
took a
rain
shower. So.
and sleep.
For those of you
And
watching the
cows
video
flying.
version, or not watching the video version, Alexis is rocking the coolest Hogwarts shirt right now.
Sweatshirt.
The
hoodie.
sweatshirt. That's
$10
pretty-
at Kohl's.
That's pretty badass, and she does look like she just got out of a shower.
I do.
It's amazing that you two ran together, and she looks dry. And you look like you fucking took a bath.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you trip and fall in a puddle?
I did not.
There were a lot of
There were a
puddles.
lot of
She kept
puddles.
trying to push me in puddles.
I did not do that at all.
I'm like, get over.
We did get
puddles.
9s though.
I heard John was bragging about you guys at the juice bar before
We turned a corner, and we're the country corner, and we're like,
Told you.
Mile 4. Yeah.
That was-
Or 3 or whatever.
there was a point where I took a step, and I looked over at Lex to notice that my step went right in the same spot because of the
Yeah,
wind.
it was-
I did not progress forward at all.
Before we get too far off track, that was
Too late.
fear number
Sorry.
2.
My bad.
Was time management for Carrie. Let's go into fear number 3.
My third fear is this is a lot amount of hours of fitness, so my body just holding up through it.
Well, and we kind of jokingly talked about it with me telling her she was going to end up in the hospital when she wasn't here last week. But for those of you who don't know, Carrie finished, if it wouldn't have been for 19.1, she would have finished in the top 200 in the world in her age group for the CrossFit Open. And obviously she still has some CrossFit related goals. So trying to fit all the swimming, biking, and running and we're doing and still hit your you're gonna have to figure out how to cut out the metcons or things like that and just go, all right, I'm gonna do like EMOM skill work or something like that, because if you try and run a 10K on Saturday and then do 2 AMRAPs with muscle ups, handstand walks, and a kettlebell complex, and then tomorrow you're doing a 30-mile bike, and then the next day it's just going to be very hard for your body to hold up. So, but that kind of touches on our programming episode number 2, where that's kind of my job to sit here and go, all right, Carrie, let's.
Calm the fuck down.
It's not even calm the fuck down. It's let's pay attention to the whoop. Let's make sure that our recovery's good, our sleep's good. But understanding the whoop, my biggest criticism with these monitors that we wear is it doesn't take into consideration soreness. Some of my green recoveries, I get up and I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I feel like I could do anything in the world as long as I don't have to squat, push with my hands, because you're like, I feel like shit. By the way, my whoop just told me my battery's too low.
No.
Not my battery, the whoop battery too low. But we're gonna have to really pay attention to those recovery scores and make sure that we go, all right, let's not push past the point of exhaustion. Let's not push what your body's telling you. Like, even if that's saying you're good to go, sometimes you gotta go jump up and go, all right, I did 2 muscle ups and I'm not feeling it today. But just keeping those skills, yeah, that's a great day stream. Keeping those skills while you're training is gonna be the thing. Because let's face it, your fitness level, yes, your intensity is going to be different, but your fitness level is going to stay pretty good. If you're moving 70.3 miles on your own body power, you're going to be fit. It's just bringing back that intensity. Mm-hmm. And it might actually be a good vacation from us. It's going to be a cool experiment where we kind of get rid of the intensity and just get so confident in doing EMOMs of 6 muscle ups or whatever it may be. You might find you build so much confidence that you're like, oh fuck, well, I'm only working out for 10 minutes, not 6 hours, and I can do 6 muscle ups all day.
Yeah.
So then you build a different level of confidence than, oh fuck, I'm tired. Mm-hmm. Now we just got to build back that intensity piece. When we finish this Ironman, we go back to the CrossFit Opens back in October or this year. So. But yes, I think your body holding up. That was John's biggest fear, actually, was the body holding up. I think all of us are kind of having that. We've all had that oh fuck moment. I don't know that she's had it yet, but I've had that oh fuck moment when I was talking about my back went out, which turned into being really nothing. It was just my body's way of saying, hey, bro,
Shut it down.
Shut it down. You don't need to back squat 280 pounds for fucking 4 sets of 10. You need to be smart. So listening to that is a huge deal. So why don't we talk about, is that your last fear?
For now.
For now?
Until you learn.
Until you learn more. Why don't we talk about this morning you guys had, our buddy Joe gave you guys some very bad circumstances for
The cows were flying.
There was a tornado.
They did a Gibsonburg 10K today.
Couch to 10K.
Couch to 10K. And I'm sorry I was not as impressed with Carrie's 10K. It was her first 10K, even though we ran 7 fucking miles last week.
I did not run them all.
So I wasn't as impressed as I should have been. Bad coaching on my end.
Thank you, John, for being impressed.
John was very
Thank you.
supportive because he's, the nice guy in the group. But let's talk about, I wasn't there. I had to coach class, so I didn't get to run the 10K. Shucks, I didn't have to run in the rain. But why don't you guys talk about some of the stuff, because, John had a fucking huge PR. On his
John
on his 10.
was John took the fuck off. Like with
Tebow.
When we've talked
Tebow's like, oh, you're gonna be able to run with me, and I was like, no. And then we're like, bye, Tebow.
when we say
He was
John,
like, yeah, I did this bad. I went out real hot,
Yeah.
and then I died.
Yeah, he died real quick. But like when we say before that John goes out and sprints, we're thinking sub 9, but like in the 8:50s.
8:35 at the most.
Today, John went 7 something.
Bye, John.
And so John just went, and I was like, no.
And then he yelled at me at the finish.
He said it's Tebow's fault.
No.
It's not.
Texting
Last
night.
Yeah, you did.
Tebow throws out this idea, let's go sub 50. And he put that idea in my head, and suddenly it's like, you know what? Okay, that's 8 minutes flat. I just did 3 miles at 7:55. If I feel good, we'll see what happens. And then after I started running, I realized, I'm holding a decent pace. Might be able to do this. I hit mile 4 and ran into that Joe P headwind. Lost about 40 seconds per mile. And I finished in 50 minutes and 7 seconds. So close to hitting that goal. Thank you, Tebow.
And he
It
showed
was
me.
longer than a 10K. So you probably did hit it.
What was your watch?
My watch said it was
Yeah, I was
6.34 or something.
Mine's 6.3.
Yeah, I was a little over, but
So you hit it.
Doesn't matter. That was the course.
it was still a PR.
Yeah.
And
God, you are such a Debbie Downer.
it was pouring rain, headwinds.
They were asleep.
Beautiful day.
They were
It was funny.
We got yelled at.
Did you? Well,
Yeah.
we'll get into that in a minute. He actually showed me, I ran into him at the juice bar when we were picking up our tasty snacks here that we're all drinking.
Done.
Well, doctor.
Thank you.
Got more up there.
But he was showing me his splits, and I was like, damn, you were moving, and then mile 4 hits, and it's like goes from 7:30 to like 8:34, and I'm like, what the fuck happened there? And he's like, Joe P. Headwind. He's like, how bad do you want it? Do you kind of want it, or do you really want it? But then he picked it back up for the last couple miles and
The
back.
funny thing is, I hit like that 8:34 or whatever it was, and it was awful. And then after the race, I realized my slowest time was an 8:34.
Which is great.
Last year in that race, I was running like, I think 8:30 was my pace.
Yeah.
This year it was like 8:03 pace.
Carrie, our first mile was 8:08.
806, mine says.
Damn.
Damn thing.
You guys were-
Yeah.
That's
We were
like,
trying.
that is moving.
We did Joe P and we dropped to 9:55.
Just for the record, so in case anybody's confused about this, Joe P gave us some really bad wind one day, shortly after.
This
It
was
was
the next
the day
day.
after
He
he passed.
passed away, and then it was like
The next
50
day.
degrees out or something. Y'all were gonna go
We went
run.
for a run, and it was 45-mile-an-hour headwinds.
It was.
I was
there
sitting at Carrie's house that night, and I looked at Jay, and I was like, if it rains or something in the morning, we know this will be Joe. Or if it starts thundering,
It wasn't
we know
supposed to
it's
rain.
Joe lifting weights up in heaven. And so at like 4 in the morning, I wake up to thundering and lightning, and I was like, no freaking way, Joe made it to heaven. And he's telling us. And then you guys went out to run, and it was like 60-mile-an-hour winds. And I was like, that's Joe saying his motto, how bad do you want it?
So ever since then, anytime, I know
Weather
I-
conditions.
if we're out in a really heavy headwind or something, that's a Joe P wind. That's Joe
Yeah.
I'll bet you want it.
Yeah. The funny thing is that day that Carrie's describing, that Sunday after he passed, I was driving home and the wind ripped my my trifold cover off of my fucking truck, and I was like, I walked in the door and everybody's like, what the fuck are you idiots doing running in that? At one point, me and Kyle are literally trying to fall over, and we're running like backwards, like, what is going on here?
John and I are laughing hysterically.
Yeah,
Like,
we
the
were
whole time.
We weren't going anywhere. A lot of fun doing
And
it.
it was, but it was crazy. It was so surreal because it was like I wish everyone could experience that moment with someone that they truly cared about, and it was like in that moment you forgot about the grief of losing one of your best friends. You forgot about all that, and it was like being in here in a workout and him trying to throw obstacles at you, like, you know, like he was still there with you. It was such a surreal moment that you were like, fuck yeah, let's do this. At one point I started screaming and Kyle's like, this guy lost his mind. I'm like, is that all you got, Joe? Like running. And it's like, I look down at my watch and I think we're like 11-10 miles.
Yeah,
That's how
it was
bad
so-
the wind was.
Yeah, it was-
And then we spin around and it's like the wind's at our back and it's like, we're gone. But it definitely was crazy. So when we say we had a jokey like headwind,
That was today. We had, Jopi was there
With sleep.
with sleet and rain.
It hurt.
It hurt. It hurt
I
bad.
feel like this is one of those stories.
If it's
that, like,
easy, what's the point?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those stories where like your parents used to tell you, I used to have to walk to school uphill in the snow both ways, and you're like, well, I've walked that before. It's downhill one way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
No, you see the rotation of Earth made it uphill. But anyway, so why don't we get into your guys' experience? Because that was John's. John had a really good race. I understand he was bragging you guys up, like you guys kicked ass as well. So
They did really good.
how
Yep.
was? How,
Was
We were cruising.
We were cruising. Like we went, like I said, we went off really quick.
But it was fine.
But I didn't feel like we were
That
tired or
hard.
anything. It was as soon as you hit that wind is when we really slowed down, and then our last 2 miles were a little slower, but not anything significant.
Let me ask you guys this, because this is something that I've noticed. In the middle of a workout, or take a quarry run or a windy run or something like that, when you hit that hard point, and you're like, God, I don't know that I can do this anymore. When that wind hits you, and you power through it, and you hit, say, the end of mile 4, or miles 5 and 6 are with the wind at your back, does it not feel infinitely easier? Like, I could run through a fucking wall right now. Like, now that's what I got.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody else get that?
I did for that
crazy
one
feeling?
because I knew it was over. Like that part was done. I was like, okay, if I got through that part, then we can just keep going. But
That one wasn't so bad because you knew there was a corner coming up. You were
Yeah.
gonna turn, you were gonna get out of that headwind, so you knew there was an end.
I was excited to see horses.
yeah, that too. I was
That's
trying to see the
awesome.
wind.
I was like, I'm gonna talk, but I can't talk right now.
Yeah. No,
No,
I
I
said
did
that we
it.
were both like turning our heads like
That's because the sleet was hitting.
it hurt like to hit my chest. So I was like,
I had a moment where on that stretch where I looked at Lex and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, too bad, let's go, we're doing it. I don't even know what she said, but she was like, let's go. She was like, you're already halfway into it, you're going to finish. She was like, you have no reason to stop. I'm like, I just want to stop because I just want to stop. I just don't want to do it.
Yep.
She's like, well, you're not stopping, let's go.
I think
She
that
just
goes.
got me through it.
I think that goes back.
I got bored. And then we got yelled at by some
She's
kid.
bored for a 10K, and she's.
We talk about that too.
I was like, man, swimming's boring, biking's boring, running's boring. Like, ugh.
I'm like, I have to do this next month because we signed up for the Glass City. I was like, but I have to double this. I'm like, you better run with me. I don't care if I hold you back, but you are running with me.
But at the same time, think about how long were you guys out there running? What was your time?
I think it was like 56:30 or something.
So for 56 minutes, that's something that you two share that nobody will ever understand. Like the conversations you have and things like that's truly to me what running with people and training with people is all about. I mean, we joke about it all the time. We're probably a different group of people because we train together, but when we train together, we actually train together. It's like no person left behind type mentality. Like, all right, whoever's in the worst mood or the worst shape that day sets the fucking pace. And we kind of have a wolf mentality or a wolf pack mentality that, hey, whoever's the strongest runner is going to drop back and hang out and try and build that person up, and we're just gonna run together. With the exception being kind of the quarry, because that's such a fucked up terrain. But when we're running,
Everybody hates the quarry.
I fucking hate quarry. Did you see my Instagram story that day?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You were.
Oh yeah.
Where I was like,
yeah.
driving to the quarry right now. I hate driving or going to the quarry. But John Mix wants to go to the quarry, so we're going to the quarry.
Well, did anybody else notice John fucking baited us there with like, oh, we're gonna go easy, we're gonna go like 3 or 4 laps, and we get there and all of a sudden it jumped to fucking 5.
Yeah.
No, it was always 5.
Who said it was 5?
It's not my fault people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
It was like Jay that invited us on vacation but never sent the invite.
That was
One of those.
That was bad. I did not do that with the Joe P competition. I remember to invite everybody for that shit.
But as soon as we started this race, like we took off together and Lex looks at me and she goes, all right, what do you want to talk about?
Yep.
And we paired up, we talked that whole way.
The whole time. Yeah.
And this is the first time that I've ever gone out without headphones. I didn't even take them. So that was the step. Will you give me that one?
I'll high five you on that one. You got this one. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point, unless I'm running on a treadmill, I don't even take my headset with me, because I'm like,
If I'm doing a short run or a really long bike by myself, I do just for some amusement. But
and even when I do that, I listen to audiobooks, so there's no help with it.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like,
no like
it's just,
rhythm.
it's just like I'm talking to somebody else, because but I've found so much enjoyment with that. Like, you actually pay attention to your surroundings more. I remember telling you way back when we first started doing the 2-mile hill run that John made up.
God, that was gross.
And we were crossing the we were crossing the bridge over there on the trail, and the sun was setting, and I just had a moment where I was like, fuck, you just pay attention to that,
Yeah.
and you're like, that's really cool, you know.
it helps too, because the biggest thing for me without running with music is you can hear your breath. You know when to push, you know when not to push, you know when you're suffering.
Mhm.
And it really, if you have music in, sometimes you're not paying attention to that, and you can burn up.
Well, it's not just that. Your favorite song comes on, you're like, fuck yeah, and you take off that 3-minute window, and you fucked your whole run up.
Yeah.
You know, because music can change the way that you attack something, and not having it forces you. It's almost like, I don't want to call it meditation because you're working your ass off and it's not a real calming state.
Yeah.
But for fucked up people like us, it's almost calming to go, I'm alone with my demons at this point, you know, like, and, you know, we talk about, it seems like we talk about tattoos every fucking week, not because I'm a tattoo person, but we always talk about the hammer, the nail, you know. The last couple weeks we've joked around that we're the nail, and that saying just comes from sometimes you feel like the hammer where you're kicking the nail's ass, and then there's those days you're the nail and you're like just trying to fucking survive. But I actually was talking to Carrie Pemberton about this the other day. She's like, oh, what's your Ironman tattoo gonna look like? I'm like, right now it's kind of a gobbled up mess of the Ironman logo, a cancer ribbon, a hammer, a nail, and +1, because I'm fucking stealing that from John. You know how much I use that? I used it on you last week, where I was like, sometimes it's literally breaking it down. When you're in hell,
Just
one more. Just one more step, just one more lap, just one more run, just one more bike, just one more swim, until you're done. And then the sad thing is, will this be enough to satisfy, you know, and this be the end goal? Probably fucking not. I don't, it's almost like you want to find like that breaking point, like what's it gonna take to make me go, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I'm gonna fucking quit. And I feel like that's the mentality of almost everybody here is, yeah, I might rest for a minute, but I'm not fucking quitting. And it's like, mine and your conversation last week, and I don't know how much you want to share about that, but it was...
John SP.
John has got to take a bathroom break. For those of you who watched the video version last week, we hit stop and Lex bitched at how bad she had to pee for a half hour. So John's like, I'm not doing this. But I used that on Lex last week. Lex was having some issues on the first half of the run.
The first third.
The first third of the run. And she got pretty down, and we actually, it's one of the few times you can actually run and we didn't say a fucking word. We literally did almost a 2-mile loop without saying a word until I asked you, are you gonna keep going or are you gonna stop? And you're like, I'm gonna do one more lap. And I'm like, all right. And I told you that story, I'm like, it's just like John said, when you get into hell, it's just one more. And some people think because you're in hell and because you modified or you did that, you failed. And it's like, fuck that. You fail if you quit.
Mhm.
Like, if you would have quit at that beginning and said, all right, guys, I'm done, that's failure.
Mhm.
Going and fighting for 2 more laps when you didn't want to, that's a fucking win. That's a huge, that's something you can put in that emotional piggy bank that says when shit hits the fan, at some point during Ironman, we're all gonna hit it down. I assume, maybe we don't. We're all gonna hit that, questioning yourself point. You're gonna hit that, why the fuck am I doing this and can I still do this? You're gonna go back and go, well, fuck, I wanted to quit 2 miles into a 7-mile run and I didn't fucking quit. You know, that's so huge because you sit there and you're like, oh man, I can still do this. I can still do this. And as long as you're moving forward, I don't care if you're walking,
Yeah.
you're moving forward.
See, that's there's like before we started and Carrie said, you know, if you walk it doesn't count. I had the same mentality like a long time ago. Like when I first started running, like when I was 19, I think it was when I did the first half marathon. And I was like, if I walk it, that means I fucked up and I didn't do it right. And then now every half marathon I've done, with the exception of one, I have walked in it.
Then none of them count.
That's what I said.
Sorry,
No,
Carrie
just,
said
You
it.
did half marathon.
no, yeah,
You just
I didn't run it, yeah. But well, like I had that thought, like, okay, if I walk it, like, that's a complete fail. So like doing this so far, I've had to think to myself, okay, like I just have to get to the running part, and if I walk, but I still get it done,
They're so good.
I'm gonna get it done. Like that is literally all I care about. It's like just that mentality switch of if I walk, it's a failure. To now, it's as long as I finish, I'm good. Like
As long as you don't quit,
yeah.
it's not a failure.
And that was my goal going into the 10K. When everybody had like time goals, mine was I just wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
That's the most important one. Just finish
Well,
it.
but at the same time, it's kind of from an outside perspective, as someone that running doesn't come naturally to, or the distance running didn't come naturally to. I was always a faster runner. I just fucking hated it. Like, there's times where I was running with her the last 2 laps at the Corey last week, and I'm like, this bitch has not been running as much as us. How is she able to talk this fluent this far in the
She
run?
does not
And I'm sitting there like, this fucking sucks. And she's just like, I'm like, this bitch is 4'6", and she's running at my pace. Fuck her.
I sprinted. I'm like, hi, Chuck. He kept running, and I'm like trying to talk to him. He's like, what? And he's like, wait, I'm coming. 5.
Okay.
I grew after college. Boom.
So in college you were 4'11".
Yes. After gymnastics, I grew.
That actually happens.
It happened.
Yeah. No, when you're done with gymnastics, like when people stop like doing gymnastics, like their bodies like catch up kind of.
Sometimes when I get a chiropractic, it does fine. I gain a couple inches. Oh, there it is. That vertebrae was out of place, so that's an extra 2 inches. And everybody can use 2 extra inches, John. Just
Big deal.
saying. But yes, it's funny to me how it's kind of a, yeah. Welcome to the Carrie Mayle show. Till her last breath.
My last breath.
But no, it's kind of frustrating sometimes when you have somebody as naturally gifted as Carrie is, and she bitches and says, "Oh, it was so hard to do this."
Did you
You're
say
like,
I'm elite?
no, I did not say that. I wouldn't use that term anyway.
You did once.
But I
You'll
did.
never
When I was
use
telling you
that.
I was quitting as your coach. I said, listen.
No, he said I was
No,
I did.
that's when you. This was a while ago.
No,
I
I
cannot
call
forget.
her Leah.
I know my brain's bad.
I screamed her in the run at one point when she told me she got 303rd. I said, "Bitch, I'm running with an elite athlete!" And I'm screaming it into the wind.
Nobody hears it but yourself.
Yeah. I don't even think I heard it.
I yelled it.
I heard something about elite, but I didn't know what it was. Like, you are elite, let's get it. That's what I thought.
But it's having someone just jump into the program, and that's why I said, when we were talking about the couch to Ironman, I said we're all pretty fit people. I mean, I've been working out consistently for over 7 years. the only reason I stopped was injuries back in college. So I took about a 10-year gap where I was kind of lazy bum, but 7 years of built up working out on a consistent basis is gonna help you in this stuff. It's not gonna help you with the overall tear or the grinding on your body for trying to hit those miles. Like I'm trying to hit that 13.1. Yeah, I can work out for 2 hours, but I'm not used to taking that many fucking steps. That's the part that you gotta get used to. So someone like Carrie can jump in and go, all right, I'm gonna run a 7-mile run. But I guarantee she probably felt her legs are, I believe she said her legs hurt like fuck on Monday. Didn't you take Monday off when you weren't going to? Or what day did you end up taking off that you weren't going to? Or was it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
But she actually texted me, she's like, I'm sore as fuck today after that run. And she went straight back. How quick is she?
19.5.
And the Corey run
And then-
right after that.
I was struggling after 19.5 in general. And then, yeah, like I was unable to walk out the stairs. I was like, yeah, we'll do it. Let's go run the trails. That'll be fun. Maybe it'll loosen up my legs.
Didn't work.
I elephant flopped my legs. Because if I bent them, it would use a muscle and then they would collapse. So I had to like, ding, ding, ding.
I could not believe how quick she got. So for those of you who don't know, Corey is about a 15-20 minute drive from where most of us live here in town.
24.
24
I get
minutes.
so worried on when you say
No.
she. I'm like, what is
No,
this?
but I swear we weren't gone from the Corey 20 minutes. She's like, I already got the compacts on my legs. And
She speeds.
And I was like, how the fuck? You already have a stim thing on your legs. Because she laughed and she's like,
She put it on for the drive home.
she's like, I'm going to Chipotle. 10 minutes later, I'm doing a compact stim. And it's like,
What
the fuck are you doing?
I did it. I ate zero juices.
Kind of like.
But healthier. Yeah.
We're going to start counting how many times we say the word CR juices in our podcast.
I just do that.
And parlay it into a fucking discount or something.
I've never used my rewards points there.
They were actually just talking about that with Carrie when so John picked up half of her order.
Did you use my rewards?
No,
Oh.
he left.
I had 13. I better still have 13.
Yeah, you have 14, I think. But anyway, I went to leave and Serena goes, Jay, aren't you going to grab your toast? I totally forgot that I ordered cinnamon sugar toast. And then Christina's like, wait, who picked up Carrie's order? And I'm like, John just took it. She's like, she forgot he forgot the shit that she forgot to pick up yesterday. And I'm like, oh, fuck, take it to her.
Told
It
you.
must have been those juices.
And she was
Remember, I said she owes me juices.
She was so busy, I wasn't gonna interrupt her and ask her about it.
She was very busy. But they
Thank
brought
you,
up
yes,
how
please.
you never used one of your rewards. I'm like,
Unless they make me.
I'm like, just transfer them over to my shit. Although I have like
Bring your knees.
2 or 3 rewards left. Actually, I think Cassandra was saying,
Okay.
bring them over.
I have used them. I think I've gotten it down to 10 at one point.
I always feel weird using them.
I one time
Yeah.
left. I showed up.
You don't use them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not first.
I showed up, I ordered food, I talked to Christina, I fucked with her for a while, and then I left without ever paying. And I texted her, I'm like, shit, I forgot to pay. She goes, just swing back later. I'm like, you guys just use one of my fucking rewards. I'm not swinging back. That's how most of my rewards are done. Nobody uses them. But yeah. So yeah, she was within an unreasonable amount of time to get home. She already had the compact stim unit on her legs and was bragging about it. And I mean, me and Kyle are still in like line. Like, and she's already typing like, how the hell? And it wasn't like we screwed around after she left. We got
all the way.
No, I drove fine.
You clearly did.
When we drove-
I went a different way back though.
Wait, when did we drive? When did I drive with you?
Let's move on.
Can we take bets on if Carrie's gonna make it to the starting line on time?
Oh, probably not.
Oh,
You're gonna have to take me.
I was gonna say, first of all, I was the one in charge of getting both her and Tifa there on time today.
So we told him today that he had to be at my house 15 minutes early. He was on time for the 15-minute early. He's just sitting there looking at me like, what's going on? I was like, oh yeah, by the way, we lied to you. We told you you would be here at this time. He was like, damn. So then we played the Dr. Seuss rap.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
But then we left her on time, so I got there. We're good.
Yeah, that's good because she's
Mom.
notoriously late for everything.
That's why I drove.
Yeah. when we did stat the last 3 years, we've told her 20 minutes before we were actually leaving.
I was late to our race and off.
And usually I end up calling her and I'm like, I'm fucking leaving you. And then like, well, I'm just not doing the competition now, I guess.
Life's crazy.
Yeah, it's so hard waking up when the alarm goes off. It's 5:30 in the morning, life's not crazy.
Your
You're just
single mom household is a little different, okay?
Jake's a single mom.
Yeah, the single mom.
That's all I got out of this.
That's
So am I, though.
that's the mom, yeah.
I'm not actually a single mom, guys. I have no kids.
But when it's early in the morning, that's the easiest time to not have time restraint, because you just, it's
Well, I also have to wait for somebody to show up to watch
No, I
my
get it.
kid,
I
to be
get
able to
it.
leave, for him to allow me to leave, there's a lot that goes with it.
It's cool with you leaving today.
Bye.
It's like, good luck.
Lisa's coming.
He's coming in less than half an hour.
He cried though when I said I had to go to work. So he thinks
ooh, you had to go home and change?
Yeah.
Are you gonna see him there, or is he at
No,
mom's?
he's at my mom's.
Oh, okay. That's, I mean, sometimes you gotta lie to kids.
Well, I said I had to go to work.
Like, sometimes you, I mean.
I didn't tell my
John, have you ever lied to your daughters?
Yeah.
No.
I don't
No,
lie.
I don't lie to my kids.
I don't like lying.
Is Santa real? Does your kid know this?
Here we go.
Yeah,
I
go
thought this was about a podcast.
Well, a podcast is
Whatever.
people talking, it's about Ironman, but, yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Spirit,
from
my mom
that.
says, are you working?
Yes, I'm at work right now.
This is work.
This is kind
Am I get paid for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get a fucking sponsor and they pay us to do this. you-
Yes!
I wouldn't hold your breath on that.
I want them to pay me in pizza.
You can probably ask Scott England and be like, hey, if I plug your pizza shop,
We should go to Fort Ball Pizza on State Street, next to Jimmy G's, and across from CR Juices.
They have really good cottage cheese.
I don't care about that.
No, their cinnamon rolls are legit.
Oreo fluff?
Their
Oh, I
cinnamon
love
rolls are
Oreo fluff.
legit. Their BL
Salad?
Their BLT folder. We're getting way off.
I'm just trying to get a plug in
You're
here,
just-
okay?
I was giving them the menu.
Yeah.
Just go on the menu, tell them what they like. Fremont's known for some good things.
What else is it known for?
Me.
I'm an elite athlete.
Elite athlete that probably cheats half of her race.
My videos were approved. Are you sure I shared all of those emails?
Haters gonna hate.
Haters do hate.
How did you finish?
Not in the
Talk
top
about that.
200.
Talk about that.
She did great outside. So here's
I sent him a screenshot on Monday night at 8, and we both replied at the exact same time with the exact same message. I was at 2:06.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn. If you're gonna
He's
miss
like,
it,
please
you
fall.
miss it."
I sent him, I'm like, this better fucking fall.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like, if you don't,
by that point, I just didn't even want to. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be at the high end. I don't know.
The real problem was, let's call a spade a spade, when you finished 2100th in the world in 19.1, and then your worst score after that is like 197. 19.1 is the reason you didn't make the next one. If you eliminate that score, she's in the top 50 in the world. But
happens.
shit happens. I'm guaranteeing she's gonna learn how to fucking row.
I'll teach her to row. I beat her in the row.
I know.
The one time. That's the only thing I've ever beaten you
that
at.
workout.
That was so much fun.
You and him on T-Ball's workout Monday too.
I did.
You should have seen her.
I mean, I read about it in the blog where she was like,
You should have seen it.
yeah, I'm
It felt
sure.
good.
Did she rip off her shirt and do the dramatic?
No, I didn't.
No.
Notice I didn't do that any more times.
She might have murdered everybody in there with her eyes though.
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
she just was going
I was
hard.
in.
You were all in on
I was
that?
all in.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Tito made bet with me on that workout. First of all, I was like, I'm not even.
I kicked his ass.
I'm in Alabama, so it's gonna be impossible to have a competition. He's like, I bet you doing acid bath again that I'm gonna beat you in this workout. I'm like, okay. He goes, and if you don't finish acid bath faster than you did it the last time, I get to keep adding until you hit the goal I give you. I'm like, Tito, look at the workout. And he's like, yeah, it's my workout. I'm like, did you look past the first AMRAP to the second one? And he's like, oh, I don't know that. I don't know that anymore. And I'm like, yeah, even if you have a chance at beating me in the first part, the second part, you're gonna fall the fuck apart on. I'm like, your double enders weren't as good as he thought. So he texted me after the workout. He goes, I did really good for the first 2 minutes. And I'm like, and then you pulled the T-bone. And he goes, I pulled the T-bone.
Really bad.
And but the The good news is, though, as much shit as we give TiVo, pulling a TiVo now versus pulling a TiVo a year ago is way different. Like, he makes it a lot further.
We talked about that
And
too.
pulling a TiVo now is still pretty respectable score. I mean, there's times where he kicks my ass in a workout, and I'm like, there you go, good job, buddy.
I think his aha was after that Cougar comp, where he dropped that bar. It was like 4 seconds, and I was like, don't drop that bar, and he dropped the bar, and I was like, why? And then he was super open to pacing and.
He had a bad day today,
Yeah,
but he never quit.
not at all.
And that was the most important thing for him today.
Well, I think that's,
He didn't quit.
The
He
part
kept
that
going.
killed us, that win, is where he said that he liked it the best, and that's where he pushed the most. So I mean, that's something right there.
He's kind of freaky like that.
He
did the
is
same thing on that one run.
yeah, the one run with Joe P, he had a weight vest on.
60
He was
mile an hour.
laughing.
60 mile an hour.
Smiling.
He's like literally was
He is
laughing.
He always is smiling.
Wow.
He was
I remember
so
when he worked out up here, and I'm like, who's that kid that lives smiling? That's so weird.
I mean, he is one of the toughest mentally people I've met, but at the same time, he just,
Everybody has that.
he also has that inability to change. Like, he's so fucking tough that it ends up, he's got infinitely better just by sheer stubbornness, and then he starts listening a little bit. And I'll never forget, so I was trying to teach, someone was, I don't remember who the fuck it was trying to do ring muscle ups, and they kept missing, and they kept not doing it the way that we told them. They're like, oh, I'm trying. And I'm like, just shut the fuck up, listen, and Superman your chest, and you got it. And I'm like, literally do this. And Tebow's like, that's all you gotta do to do a muscle up? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, have you ever been swung from the ring? And he's like, no. And he jumped up and hit his first muscle up, or second muscle up. He jumped up and he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, okay. Hits his second one and turns and looks at whoever it was, and he was like, that wasn't that hard. And he comes over and he high fives me and goes, best coach athlete combo ever. And I'm like, no, it'd be really funny is if we went over and hit your first bar muscle up and really piss him off. He goes, okay. I literally walk over, show him a bar muscle up, hand him a kill clip, he takes a sip and hits his first ever bar muscle up. And I'm like, holy shit. So he is so naturally gifted of an athlete that it's like, wow. But he has these little mental lapses where, and it's not even a mental lapse, he just gets this part where he falls into these old patterns, but he's still, like you say, he doesn't quit, he just has bad days. He just has these bad days where he's like, he says he's having a bad day, but you don't notice it. He's still moving. He just gets these, like, he gets pissy after it, where you're like, dude, you did good. And he's like, it wasn't as good as it could have been.
I thought he was so mad at me when we did stat in November. I thought he was so mad at me after the third workout.
Was that the one where I did burpees faster than Carrie?
You didn't.
Yeah.
You want to quit that workout. I will
Yeah,
refrain from saying what I said to you, because it will be explicit.
Oh yeah, because we haven't said fuck at all this time.
no, but yeah, I thought he was so mad, but then it's just, he went and died in the other room, because, we have a rule where we don't die in public,
No, we don't ever
We-
show
yeah.
weakness.
so. But it was a tough day.
There's a rule about that? I didn't
We
know
made
that.
it a rule.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rule. He literally, after the first one, and we saw someone, laying on the floor and being super dramatic, he's like, promise me, you will not lay on the floor and roll around like you're dying. If you're going to do it in the back, because that looks so stupid.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I will. And then after the third one, that's what he went and did, and I thought, you're just mad at me, because I fucking...
No, it started with me, TiVo, Kyle, and it was back when we had another member at the gym, and he was notorious for just rolling around, being crazy when he finished the workout. I was like, you look so stupid when you do that. It was about the show. Look at me, and I'm like, TiVo, you want to really bury someone mentally? Finish the same workout they did,
And walk
stare at
away.
them, and walk away.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? So then me and him did a workout, and he fell on the ground, and I stared at him, and I walked away, and he goes, dude, I wanted to fucking die, and you just stared at me like you're a bitch.
Yeah.
I walked away. So then it became like a thing for us in the lead up that I don't care what you do in training. In a competition, never let them know how in pain you are.
Yeah.
And, after that third workout, I remember falling on my knees, but I hit the ground because I was so fucking pumped because me and her needed a good workout.
That was a good one.
And I hit the ground, and I pop up, and I think Tebow was like, oh my God, he's gonna roll around. And I hit the ground, I pop up, and I'm all excited. He goes, oh, never mind. He's just reliving the moment, so to speak. And but yeah, that was where that came from.
Yeah.
But I actually talked to him after that because I saw him. I walked in the back and he was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Lex fucking killed me."
Oh, okay. You're right. Emily.
But
Scaled
it's like I always tell people though. People will say scaling a workout is wrong or it's not as impressive. Fucking, I still remember my first workout with John Biggs. He scaled, I didn't. He killed me. I got back in him for 3 weeks in a row. I got back in him.
I paid for that. That's fun.
That's what you mean for also being elite.
But yeah, to me it's a lot harder doing a scaled workout because at that point you're saying I'm scaling it to my fitness level so I can move for 10 minutes as fast as fucking possible.
I think the hard part is knowing when you should scale and when you shouldn't.
Yeah. That's actually
Sometimes you'll get more out of the scale workout than
Absolutely.
trying to do something RX and completely falling apart in the
Also,
first 30 seconds.
shout out to Morgan Johnson for doing the entire open RX.
Yes, that is impressive. Morgan has been working really hard to get to that point. She hit her first bar muscle up, not in the open, but in the lead up to that workout, which was very cool. And she's another one of those silent assassins that just works her fucking ass off, keeps her head
She
down.
has to be one of the strongest women I've ever met.
Yeah. And like that,
Full strength.
I legitimately think that all these people that we keep talking about are, like, they don't know it, but they're doing this with us.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
Like, I don't think they realize it, but like, when we finish, like, it's gonna be like they did too, and like, because they're helping us more than I think they realize.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to
Like,
where we're trying to get.
They come up to you and they ask how training's going, they support the podcast. They,
Yeah.
you know, the amount of texts I got after we posted your blog, and they're like, did you read it? I'm like, I posted it. It's kind of hard. It's kind of,
I wanted to talk to you about that on a run.
I'm like, it's kind of hard to, and they're like, do you really not listen? And I'm like, if you remember, John, when Lex was having her issue, I forgot you put that in the blog, so we can't talk
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
we talk about issues.
So when she was having her anxiety attack after the first lap, she looks at, I don't remember who saw her first. I thought you said something, you said something to him, and then Kyle goes, y'all go, and you're like, just fucking leave me.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm like, I kind of just tapped Kyle, I'm like, I got this. And then she kind of looked at me, I'm like, I dare you to fucking tell me to leave.
He didn't, yeah. He just looked at me and I was like,
I'm like, are we walking back to the car, or are we moving? And she just goes, shut the fuck up, let's go. And then we literally ran in silence, but yeah, everybody is doing this with us. Like, even if to those that don't know us that well, might feel like we were criticizing Tebow. We're basically saying he's come so far. That's not a criticism. If Tebow listens to that, he will know what we're saying. We're saying pulling a Tebow now is a joking term that we use for someone that kind of went out too hot and fell apart. But at the same time, he probably got further in most of those workouts than some of the people that have since departed the gym and went a different direction. I remember 19.2, me and Tebow did head-to-head, just screwing around, and we kind of made a side bet. And we made it a lot harder for me to get to a certain spot than he did, and he fucking crushed my first start. That was a repeat workout from 2016, and he beat my first time by like 30 reps. And he was like, man, I felt good. I'm like, damn, Tebow's fucking strong now. Like, he's got that mental ability to push that I don't think we realize
He's
as
got
much.
a lot of mental strength.
He definitely does. And this going into the Army, he's got so many emotions going on, and I couldn't imagine what he's going through for that. So, Tebow, if you had a bad day today, we love you, buddy. So it gets easier, even if you have 2 hickeys on your neck. Oh, we went there.
I think with this group, though, it's just a bond that everybody has developed, and it doesn't matter if you walk in the door like day 2 or you've been here for years. I mean, look at Janetta. She hasn't been here that long, and I mean, she's part of the family, and even though she hurt her ankle.
she's banned from basketball.
She was banned from basketball.
I mean, but when you say, like, everybody's with you, that's exactly how I felt when I did the open. Like, nobody really did the open in the gym, but when we were coming up with game plans or decisions that we had to make from, like, behind the scenes, I told him, I was like, it's not a you and I decision, it's a family decision, so we need to get everybody's input on things, because, I mean, that's just how we are as a group. Like, it's a really cool thing to be a part of, and how everybody has each other's back. And
Well, and I think when you do this for the right reasons, and don't get me wrong, it is a business. There's, we are trying to do it the right way to make it to where it lasts. But if you look at how, from day one for me, and we'll get into this in another episode because we're way too deep into this to start that, but I had a lot of health issues, and I wanted to help people understand that just because you have a messed up neck or you have an injury, it doesn't have to define you, and you can continue to use your physical well-being to make that go away. And I opened the gym, or me and Debbie opened the gym with the goal of changing lives. It wasn't about, I want to have 150 members and rake in money. It was about, I want the person that comes in the gym that's intimidated, that sees our videos, and it's kind of why we're doing this week at JG3, because so many people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, I don't want to do here. We screw around so much in here.
So much.
But I want you to be able to walk in and go and feel comfortable. I don't want you to walk in and be like, oh, I'm going to get made fun of if I do this wrong or that wrong. I want it to be a team. Even though swimming's an individual sport, it was a team atmosphere. You always trained together, you always competed together, and you had people that had your back. And I wanted to emulate that when we opened the doors at JG3, and I hope that people can sit here and listen to shit like this or see how we train. Like, we probably look like psychos, 6 people running or 7 people running, and we're in this tightest group, and we don't, it's like we're a pack. We don't go, it's not like, hey, let me text you and you want to run, and then I'm going to run fucking 6-minute miles and you run 9-minute miles and you really didn't have to run with me. Like, that to me.
it went out to the whole gym. Hey, we're all gonna run. Let's set up 2 times and everybody show up. And
Yep.
I mean, look at it now. I mean, what's his nickname? Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Jesus, I'm like, I know him as Eric, sorry. So, I mean, like, he's never ran. He has to go to run. So he says that he says gonna go sign up next month for a 5K. And what does everyone in the gym do? Everybody goes and signs up because no man runs alone, or does any goal alone. So it's like, just that kind of a thing. I mean, I was terrified to walk in here.
Me too.
Nobody believes me because I'm like super athletic, and I mean, I'm outgoing here because I'm in my comfort zone, but I'm actually super shy and timid and don't speak outside of here. Just kind of crazy, but
It's hard to believe.
Sometimes
is,
we wish
but I
you
mean,
didn't
I'm-
speak in here.
evidently y'all want me to shut up more. But no, I'm actually really shy and reserved, but I mean, I'm so comfortable here just because of the type of people and how you guys make me feel. But I mean, walking in here, I was terrified. Nobody believes me when I say it, but
Kyle Tester, who's doing this with us, when he first reached out to us, he was asking for personal training. And I'm like, bro, you don't want me to charge you for personal training. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk in here unless I had somebody to walk in with.
I walked in with Morgan Johnson.
Like,
Yeah.
the anxiety took over.
I said I will not go unless Morgan goes with me, and she went with me for like 3, and then I was like, okay, I think I'm good.
And now I have a 6-year-old that will not let me skip a day.
yeah.
Kid, you had tubes. Let's go to the gym! What are you
started
doing?
off-
You were on anesthesia 2 hours ago.
I started off at Quick Fit in the front room, more cardio based, for 9 months as the only guy in there.
Yeah.
Me and a bunch of women. And
That grandpa
it got
class.
me in shape. It got me through my first half marathon.
Yeah. But let's talk about that real quick before we wrap this thing up, because we're getting close to wrapping up. But women to men, we're probably the only gym in fucking America that has 80,
All women.
80% women. 80.
It
We
is
actually
all
joked.
women.
You guys weren't here for this. We had
It
5
may be
guys.
85-90%
We
women.
we had
5 guys.
we had
Burger.
I
we
was
had
thinking-
4 teams of guys. So we had 8 guys here.
Wow.
At class today, and then we had the rest were girls. But we were like celebrating. We're like, holy shit, we got more than 1 team of guys. Like, it's insane.
So always during the week, it's like all women class.
But we don't have
Competitions.
a lot of guys here, and I don't really give a shit why. And you know, we run people out because we have had guys in the past that are like, Carrie's gonna get hurt. She's lifting too heavy, and I'm like, bitch, just because she's lifting more than you does not mean
She's
gonna
gonna hurt
get
herself.
hurt. It means you need to like, if that really concern, like, I get it. There's still people out there that are like, oh, women are fragile. That's not what the fuck you're gonna see when you walk in here. You're gonna see.
You're
some
gonna walk in
bad-
here and see you can learn something from these women.
Yes, and sometimes if you get lippy with them, you're gonna run from these women.
It is our escape from life,
They
so
will- but it's
use
cool.
it.
That's what's awesome is we're a team, and I truly We were running the other day, and I don't remember who I talked to about it. It might have been Kyle or it might have been you, Lex, where I was like, you never want to wish time away, but I'm looking forward to that weekend after the Ironman when we can all meet we can all meet at Joe's gravesite and put the fucking Ironman medal on his gravestone and say, we fucking did it.
Yep.
Because this started, by that point, it will have started over a year prior with a simple conversation that he wishes he would have done another triathlon. I think that's a good ending point right there, don't you guys?
Yep. That's good.
Any other plugs? Hey, she actually gets to plug herself today. Carrie Mayle, why
I've
don't
been
you?
doing it the last 2
Why
months.
don't you go ahead and give your own plug there?
Go to No Surrender Gear and save yourself some money. Use the code Miley15.
Mayle 15.
Whoa, I like that.
she gets so excited.
I do.
Anybody else have anything they want to plug?
Thank you, CR Juices, for the juices.
Thank you for the juices. The good news is, if you're watching the YouTube video, look at this shirt he's wearing. So Carrie has 15 reps of whatever. Oh wait, hold on a
I
second.
got him.
I got No Surrender here
I
on
got No
too.
Surrender.
So Carrie's got a 30-calorie row before we leave here, so we gotta get the
cow.
fuck out of here.
Oh, I'm not
So
saying
this has been the Road to Ironman podcast with JG3 Fitness. Don't forget, I Can't doesn't exist.
Be the best you.
that. No.
There we go.
Go team.
I gotta turn off the video version. Lex, do you want to do anything crazy for the video version this week?
I don't have to pee this time.
I don't have to.
I
do
went
this.
tea.
You didn't.